In the sacrament of confession, we experience God's mercy. A famous writer once said, "Mercy is love when it encounters suffering." Have you ever had that experience where you've messed up, you've hurt someone, and as a response, they haven't shown you anger, they've shown you mercy? That is true love as mercy. And that's how God acts towards us. In the midst of our suffering, of our sin, things we get wrong, His response is mercy. And that's shown so greatly and so amazingly in the sacrament of confession. When I was in my late teens, there were some problems going on in my family, and I had a family member that I had a lot of anger towards, and I felt that I couldn't forgive them. I was actually rejecting any idea of forgiveness and any idea of reconciling. I really allowed the anger that I felt towards the member of my family really cloud my vision, and I wouldn't allow myself to come back into the arms of the Father. I wouldn't allow myself to actually go to confession, because I knew that would mean fully reconciling with my family member as well. And my heart began to be hardened, and I found that choice was actually hurting me a lot more than anyone else. I found myself at a retreat for young people. It got to the final day of the retreat, and I just knew that I had to make that decision, and I had to make that choice. And somehow God gave me the grace that day to really choose Him and to choose forgiveness and reconciliation. I brought that anger, that unforgiveness and all the hurt in my heart to God in the sacrament of confession, and I received a really powerful encounter with Jesus in that sacrament, and it really changed my life, and I really chose that reconciliation and healing and forgiveness that day. It was such an experience of freedom. We weren't created to be at odds with one another, and we certainly weren't created to be separated from God. Sin doesn't just hurt us, it always hurts others. The human heart wasn't made to be fractured by sin. God calls us to be in a loving, personal, alive relationship with Him.